Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. And today I wanted to talk to you about chocolatey fragrances, my chocolatey fragrances that I have in my collection, and also I wanted to kind of discuss a topic that, well, sometimes I do have this messages from people or comments under my videos that if I say that, well, I don't have anything like it in my collection, or I don't have a fragrance with this particular note in my collection, and sometimes people reply in a way that, well, you're supposed to have because you make reviews on fragrances, so you have to have it. And this always made me wonder, why am I supposed to have every single note, every single fragrance in my collection? It's not possible. I mean, economically, it's not sustainable. And then also, if I don't have this particular note in my collection, it means that I probably don't like it. So having this fragrance in my collection means that it's gonna be staying there and collecting dust, and I'm not gonna ever reach for it. Maybe when I'm gonna review a fragrance, then I will reach for it, but I'm not gonna use it. And my collection is a collection, but it's also my private collection of fragrances that I use a lot. So I don't collect fragrances just to collect them and never use them. I actually use the fragrances and I finish fragrances as well. So anyway, let's talk about chocolatey fragrances, and we are talking about cacao pod and also chocolate here. So not about all the gourmand all together. No, chocolate, like dark chocolate and cacao pod. And it actually came to my mind that well, I love chocolate as a food, but it came to my mind that I'm not a fan of smelling like chocolate, especially if it's very, very prominent, especially it's very, very pronounced. And it wasn't always like that. I'm a person that used up 100 ml of Chocolate Greedy by Montal. And if you know this fragrance, this is an ultimate fragrance that everyone recommending when it comes to chocolate. It's more like a chocolate cookie kind of thing, but it's very nice, it's very beautiful. It's the chocolate part is very, very pronounced, very prominent, very loud. So it's a good one. And I finished 100 ml of that. So probably this, plus the fact that actually my tastes in fragrances, they kind of change from time to time. I gravitate towards fragrances I would never use before, and then from time to time I understand that the fragrances or the particular notes that I was craving before, I don't reach for them anymore. So if and plus I don't find this very pronounced chocolate smell very elegant anymore. It kind of, it reminds me more of fragrances for teenagers or for girls, as opposed to kind of elegant and kind of elevated fragrances. So but if you use this kind of fragrances, you go, you rock, you use, do what you love. But if you're searching for this very, very prominent, very chocolatey forward, and almost like going into the juvenile territory, I'm gonna give you some advices on that. First of all, this is the fragrance that it has been discontinued for long time, but the brand is Bottega Verde. They had this Coccoloso fragrance, and it smells exactly like chocolate. It's like chocolate, milk chocolate, very good, very beautiful, and it's amazing. It has been discontinued, but they have launched a couple of fragrances, maybe 4 fragrances. Among them, there's the chocolatey fragrance, and it's an exact dupe to this one. So it has been launched, I don't know, before Christmas, I guess. Sometimes in autumn, it's on sale. It's sold, no problems there. So if you are craving for chocolate, and especially for a budget chocolate, go get, well, not this one, but the one that is actually sold at this moment in Bottega Verde shops. Also, there's a great alternative to this original one. This is the brand, this is the French brand, and it's actually, I just dropped it anyway, no problem. This is Chabaud. Chabaud, and this is Lait et Chocolat. So it's milk and chocolate fragrance. As you can see, it's empty because I just dropped it, but I do have this fragrance, and this is exactly how it's named. It's this milk and chocolate, so it's chocolate milk, and it's beautiful. It's very nice. I do not gravitate towards these fragrances anymore because they're like too much. There's almost too much of chocolatey, because there's almost nothing else going on. So it's like, it feels like you have been in a chocolate factory like the whole week, and your hair, your skin is like, it's like it it has soaked this chocolate fragrance. So yeah, it's a bit too much for me. But then I do have some fragrances from other brands. For example, I have this beautiful fragrance from Coreterno, and this is the Mystic Sugar, and it's not only having chocolatey notes, it has also other notes, but it's good. This is like, it's not only about chocolate, but it's also about chocolate. So that's what I mean when I'm telling you about chocolatey, but not only. So it's not just the mono fragrance, it has a lot of going on here. So we have some almond, we have some pineapple. So I actually do have this fragrance in here. Just hold on a moment. So yeah, we have pineapple and almond blossom and orange and tonka bean and cacao, cardamom and ginger, and we have also some jasmine, vanilla and amber and sandalwood. So there's a lot of going on in this fragrance, and the chocolate part, or like the cacao part, is very, very prominent. It is there, but it's not just about the chocolate. So it's a very good gourmand. I kind of like this one, and the last one, and I don't have a full bottle of that one. It's just a sample. This is from Lorenzo Pazzaglia, and this one is Sugar Kisses, and it's like a sugar bomb. Sugar bomb. Everything good, everything tasty is in this fragrance. We have cacao butter and milk and frangipani and chocolate and coconut, hazelnut and dates and caramel and toffee and brown sugar, vanilla. It's a lot of going on, and it's a very, very gourmand fragrance. So like the chocolate, it's there, it's not lost in all this sweetness, but it's not just about the chocolate, but this one is good as well. So these are my super gourmand samples, and these fragrances, I have to say, they're a bit too much for me. I wouldn't want a bottle. I do have a sample, like 2 ml, 3 ml sample, and it's fine for me. I'm not really into these fragrances anymore. But then let's talk about the fragrances that have chocolate note and that I wear, because they're not just about chocolate, but the chocolate is very prominent here, but it's also very elevated and elegant smell at the same time. And I have checked these fragrances, some of them are discontinued, but you can still find them online, and the prices are actually very good. So I have no problem sharing with you the fragrances that have been discontinued. I don't have a lot of them. Keep in mind, that's actually to show you that although I do love chocolate, I much prefer to have it as food as opposed to fragrance. So this one, and this one is such a good smell. This one is Angel Muse. It has been discontinued, but you can still find them. Keep in mind, this one is Eau de Parfum one. They also have the Eau de Toilette, but Eau de Toilette is it has this kind of pink liquid to it, so it doesn't have chocolate per se. They have this hazelnut spread. It's like Nutella kind of thing, and they also have pink pepper and grapefruit and patchouli and vetiver. So it is very grounded. It's very nice. it opens up really like fizzy and fresh and zesty, but then it has this chocolate patchouli basically fragrance. Very beautiful, very elegant, very nice. And this is what I call a kind of grown up chocolate, because it is chocolate. You can feel the chocolate, but it never goes into this juvenile territory. It's just beautiful, and a grown up one, a beautiful, beautiful scent. This might come across like a shocker, because not all people think about this fragrance as a chocolatey fragrance, but the chocolate note on me is very prominent. So, and you know, I know that there's so many haters of this fragrance, and I'm not a fan of this bottle per se. Uh, I prefer something much simple of a bottle, but anyway, this is the Carolina Herrera, and this is the first fragrance, the first and only Carolina Herrera Good Girl, and it has a lot of white flowers, but also very beautiful chocolatey note, and the chocolate note is like they have as chocolate they have this cacao and the praline or praline chocolate candies, well, chocolates, not candies, and they also have patchouli, and they also have a lot of tuberose and orange blossom and jasmine, and they have coffee. So for me it's white flowers, it's about white flowers with chocolate, and the chocolate note, it's not coming through like immediately, it comes through eventually, and then it stays and it stays, and it's such a beautiful fragrance. And again, the chocolate is very intricately embedded in this fragrance. It's not like separate to this fragrance, it's like all together, a very beautiful mix when the chocolate note is very potent and it's very prominent. And yeah, I love this one. And also there's another fragrance, and it has been discontinued, but this is probably the most chocolatey fragrance without being chocolate forward fragrance. This one is a fantastic fragrance, and I have just checked it online. You can find them especially on these discounter sites. This one is fantastic fragrance by Hugo Boss, and this is Hugo Boss the scent. They have so many of this the scent, and I believe it's, yeah, it's Boss the scent for her Parfum, limited edition, I don't know, beautiful. This is yum fragrance, has peach and freesia, smantus, labdanum, and cacao. And here, why I'm saying that I love this cacao, like this chocolatey fragrance the most, it's because it has this very prominent note of cacao, but then it's almost a bit smoky. It's probably the labdanum that is doing this job. So it's like a smoky, beautiful, uh, wonderful smell. So it gets you this cacao dose that you want, but it also makes it not just sweet, but sophisticated as well. So it's such a good one. It's such a good fragrance, and yeah, I love this one. This one is fantastic, and I'm telling you, it's probably the most favorite out of my chocolatey fragrances. And then there's another one, and strangely enough, this fragrance, it doesn't have any booze. It's not a boozy fragrance, but kind of the feeling of this, it almost kind of comes across as boozy. And this is Lady Million Prive, and this one is fantastic one. And the chocolate note, cacao, so we have woody note and orange blossom, vanilla, raspberry, heliotrope, and cacao, honey, and patchouli. Again, this cacao and patchouli, this is what I like. It kind of gets you away from this juvenile cacao territory. So the cacao note isn't prominent in the beginning. So in the beginning I almost have like a very boozy fragrance, but then the cacao note, chocolatey note, it comes through, and it never leaves. It never leaves. It lingers and lingers and lingers, and it's such a beautiful fragrance. And yeah, I love it. I just love it. And also I wanted to tell you about these yeah, about these two fragrances, because when I started to kind of getting ready to for this video, I wanted to talk about chocolatey fragrances, and I was like, what do I have as chocolatey fragrances? And it came to me that, well, I don't have many actually, and on like right away I just could name 4 fragrances that I have with chocolatey notes, and I was like, oh no, I have to have more than 4. And then I went to Fragrantica, where you can actually sort the fragrances you have in your database according to notes. And then I just typed in like cacao pod, and they actually gave me 2 other fragrances that I have with cacao in it. And I don't know, it's again, it's a topic, it's a separate topic that we have to talk about, but I just don't feel cacao in this fragrances. But it is there. According to Fragrantica, it is there. So this is the Black XS fragrance. According to Fragrantica, it has the chocolate note, but for me, primarily, it's about like a red fruits, and it's very fizzy and very fresh red fruit fragrance. Cacao, well, maybe at the end, but it's not very evident. And also there's one fragrance that I have a sample of, and I don't usually hate on fragrances, and it's not about hating on this fragrance. This is Vicious Cacao by Maison Tahite. So I have this sample that was given to me at Accents, and the name suggests that it's about cacao, but for me it almost comes across as something very medicinal. It has some cacao, but it's very it's very boozy, it's very medicinal and almost off-putting for me. So this is just to tell you that to think of fragrances, like I want a fragrance with a certain note, right? Then I go to Fragrantica and I make my research, and yeah, inevitably it gave me this fragrance because it has cacao pod in it. But when you test this fragrance, it doesn't really have that much of cacao. And also this one, it has all cacao in the world, but then it comes across as something very pharmacy-like and medicinal-like, and which is not actually the cacao I would want to wear. So don't just blindly trust everything that is said or written on Fragrantica. Trust your nose. And I know it's not very it's not a good advice, because sometimes we just can't test fragrances that are unreachable for us. And I'm a person that I live in a relatively small city, so there's so many brands that I cannot reach for. But I test them when I go abroad, or I test them when I go in the other bigger cities. So I mean, I know, but just don't trust Fragrantica blindly, because if I would do that, if I would trust Fragrantica, I would talk to you about this one, and it's not a cacao that I would personally wanna wear at all. Yeah, so these are my very few, very not many fragrances about cacao, because you know, yeah, I love cacao, I love chocolate, but just not on me, just not like a fragrance. Although there was a times, as I'm telling you, 100 ml of Chocolate Greedy by Montal, I finished it and I enjoyed every single moment of it. So yeah, let me know about your fragrances with cacao, with chocolate. What do you like? What are the fragrances that you would recommend? And I wish you a beautiful day, beautiful Sunday, and I will see you next time on Wednesday. Bye!